Okay, this should be interesting. Life on Earth Retold from 2011. Well, we filmed it in 2011. It was released in 2012. I had an idea that I wanted to make a film, like a proper film, with proper actors and a proper length. And this turned out to be about 60 minutes, albeit broken down into 2 half-hour parts. It was one story. And I got it classified. There we go. This is my BBFC certificate. It's a 12 because it contains references to suicide. 11-year-olds, you're breaking the law if you watch my movie.
Right, we're going.
So the premise is that, very, very simply, it's a complex plot, but the simple premise is that there's a woman suffering from depression, and her friend, Spike, has a machine that allows him to go inside people's memories and play around with them. So he realizes that much of what's troubling her is rooted in her past, and if he can go back and alter some of what she remembers without her permission, then she will no longer want to kill herself, is the idea. So yes, he messes with her entire life, basically, and everything that she thinks she knows, or everything that she knows, he changes so that she knows something else. We'd better try something else. I'm describing that terribly. I remember making it, because when I wrote this, and I directed it, and I produced it, which meant I was organising the schedule and the props and the budget, such as it was, and everything. And at that time, the acting part for me came right at the bottom of the pile, which was a mistake, especially given the fact I'd cast myself in one of the biggest roles. A bitterly fought audition process, that was. I gave no thought to my performance. I think, because I knew the dialogue so well anyway, because I'd written it and I'd been absorbed in the script for so long when working out the schedules and doing all the auditions and stuff. So I thought, oh, I know it. I'll just turn up, I'll do what I do, and it'll be fine. And yeah, it was fine. I did do that. But... hello. But... yes, in hindsight, I would like to have given more time to the performance. These guys were also great. Hannah Robson playing Sadie. Let's see if I can remember everybody. Waleed Khalid, Ken Boyter, Sam Chipman, Vicky Glover, Alex Hewitson, Alyssa Javan, Michael Thackeray, Nick Blackshaw, Helen West, me. I think that's everybody. I'm so sorry if I've forgotten anybody on that list, but these guys all did it. None of us were paid because we didn't have money. This was a voluntary acting thing with the understanding that if it made any money back, we would share the profits out. Any money that was spent on this, and actually what I did spend went on the certification from BBFC, which was expensive, the music, which was expensive, and the visual effects software, which was expensive. There are so many things you can't plan for as well. One of the actors dropped out the day before she was due to film, which was a disaster. You have a schedule that doesn't have an awful lot of leeway because you've organised locations, other actors have committed. It threw everything into chaos. The reason she dropped out was because she'd accepted a paid job that was offering her more money. More money it was actually giving her some money, unlike this amateur thing. And she said, I hope you understand. And the truth is I didn't understand. No, I think she was wrong, and I stand by that. And I say that as someone who has volunteered for acting jobs myself, and understanding there's no pay. When I say yes to someone, that's not a conditional yes in case something else better comes up. Because I appreciate how bad it's going to be for everybody if I'm not there, what I've committed to. And it did throw us into chaos. Luckily we were saved by Vicky Glover, who came in and took that role at the drop of a hat and just dived right in. Thank you so much, Vicky. Otherwise we would have been really scuppered. The only difficulty with a romance story, which this kind of is, particularly when you've written it and you've cast yourself in one of the lead roles as one half of a romantic liaison, it's very hard to actually write proper romantic stuff, or I find it is, anyway, because I didn't want to be that guy who was writing lots of intense, steamy love scenes for himself, okay? Not that I would have done anything intense and steamy necessarily, but there might have been some kissing, which would have been appropriate, I think, to the story, and I didn't want to do it, because it didn't feel right. Morally, I didn't feel I could write kissing scenes for myself. That just did not sit well. I don't know what Hannah would have thought of that. Hannah plays Sadie in this, who is my character's love interest. I'm sure it would have been fine. And I've done kissing in other things. And it makes a difference when someone else has written it. If someone else had written this and they were telling me you need to kiss whoever, then fine. I'll kiss anyone, if it's professional and for the right price. No, couldn't do it with this. I don't think the film is lacking anything necessarily because of a lack of any kind of physical contact, but it would have been appropriate for there to be some, I think, and it might have added something or solidified their relationship a bit more. This scene, Bradford Playhouse, on a Sunday morning, when we got there, I learnt that the electrics in that room that we were filming in had been condemned, so we couldn't draw off the mains power for the camera. So I had to film everything on the camera battery, and it doesn't take a mathematical genius to realise that when you've got about 4 hours worth of filming to do and about an hour and a half of camera battery, you're probably not going to get it all done. And as I was doing all this complex maths in my head on the filming day, I thought, oh, this is a problem. So my solution to that problem was, don't tell the actors. They need to concentrate on their actory things. Just rattle through as quickly as possible and hope it'll be fine, and don't put any pressure on them. And yeah, that's what we did. And we got it all done. They were great. But I do remember one moment, and I can't remember whether it was Waleed or Ken, after a take, they were just like, are you sure that was all right? Are you sure you don't want to do it again? Do you not at least want to watch it back? And I was going, no, it's fine. You were perfect. Which I wasn't lying. It was fine. Had we not got a shot, I would have redone it. I wouldn't have walked away from that shoot not having everything I needed. If you want to make a film like this, where it's your vision, you want to act in it and direct it and produce it and everything, then I say great, go for it. What I learnt from doing this was that there are only so many hours in the day, and I am not a robot. And on the days when we weren't filming, I was working at the Co-op in retail, and I was starting those shifts at 7 a.m, and I wasn't getting a huge amount of sleep. And it's an awful lot of ways to divide your brain when you're thinking about trying to remember your lines and the schedule and the props, and you're trying to direct it and deal with any other crises that may emerge. It's a lot to be doing. So for about 40 days, I never really had a lie-in, and I never really took a break. And even after I finished this, I just went straight into the editing and the post-production and the visual effects and stuff at the same time as carrying on with the Co-op, and at the same time as beginning rehearsals for Guys and Dolls, which I was doing. I was playing a character called Sky Masterson, which is quite a big part in Guys and Dolls. So I completely burned out, and I made myself physically ill because I was getting tireder and tireder, and I was therefore drinking more and more caffeine. And I think on one day, I just came close to overdosing on caffeine because I spent the entire day drinking coffee to try and get me through my shift at work. And then in the evening, to try and get me through the evening, I was seeing some friends. I drank 2 big cans of Relentless, one after the other, which is like a super high energy drink. And I lost it. Not mentally, I wasn't screaming, but I thought I was going to throw up. It was like spiraling panic mixed with utter exhaustion, mixed with nausea, which is a terrifying combo. But no, I made myself physically ill, and I think that is a likely possibility if you don't take enough rest. So you can totally write your own thing and act in it and direct it and produce it and edit it. Of course you can. And, hey, if you want to, I think you should. Just make sure you get sleep. Make sure you're well rested. Make sure you pace yourself. Don't go at it 350% like I did and risk burning yourself out, because it's not worth it. This was fun. I enjoyed watching this back, semi-painful as it was. If you're interested in watching it at some point, I don't know how you can, but if there is a huge outcry, I might consider putting it on YouTube. But hey, there's some trailers and stuff online which I will link to below if you want to go check those out. Otherwise, thanks for sitting through this truncated version of a commentary, and I will see you in the next video. Hope you're well, and yeah, bye.